This is the behind the scenes of selling on Etsy series. This is episode number 1, and today we are going on Printify to look at the personalization options, see how user friendly that is to create something personalized on Etsy, to sell on Etsy. What I really want to know is if the text that you put somebody's name, for example, can be manipulated so it's like vertical or on a diagonal or on a slant or curved, because some of the designs are kind of like dynamic, and I want to know, like, can the text fluctuate? So that's one of the questions I have. Somebody who's new to selling, are they able to add some personalization which gives that custom design to anything you're selling on Etsy? So I've designed a personalized t-shirt as well as a water bottle. I'll timestamp these separate products, so if you just want to see personalization on a t-shirt, you can look at that part of it. And then if you want to look at a water bottle, or you want to watch the whole thing, you're more than welcome to. So let's get into it. So we're going to start by going into our Printify dashboard. I went first into personalization picks and found this heavy cotton t-shirt. Although Printify says that now you can add personalization to everything that they have, so you don't necessarily need to go into the personalization picks. But I found this shirt and we are going to edit the design. So I'm going to look at the print area size and then go into my computer and download the image that I want, which is this one. It says Blessed Nurse on it because my Etsy shop is Nurse Life Boutique. So my designs are going to be nurse appreciation, nurse gifts, and all things sort of nursing related in this particular Etsy shop, which is the only Etsy shop that I have right now. Anyway, so I uploaded my design. I'm going to go into Personalize, and there's an option here for personalizable text. Now, they always say put an actual name. Don't just put print it your way or the generic, because when you do your mock-ups, you want somebody to imagine it how it would look like with an actual name on it. And then the character text there in that text box says 256 characters. It's not going to look good if there's 256 characters on it. So I am going to change that and make it something more reasonable. Like, for example, if I make it a 20 character limit, and let's say I add a super long name and try to use all the characters on it, is it still going to be legible, or does it make the print super small? Now, one of my biggest questions was, if I slant the design, can I slant the text and or curve the text if I wanted to make it rounder? Now, it looks like, yes, I can slant the text, but I can't make it round or curve it or anything like that, which is fine. So if I wanted to, I would put this text on a diagonal, put the image on a diagonal, and just make it a little bit more unique. And then, so I'm playing with the fonts here just to see what kind of font options would match more closely with the font that's in the original image. I think in future I'm going to try to keep the image font and the text font the same, because I do a lot of image stuff in Canva, or I grab the images sometimes from Creative Fabrica. I don't have the option to change or create the text to match the particular image, but in future I will do that because I think it would make this process a lot easier. So when I slanted the text and slanted the image and had a look on the preview, I found that I didn't really like how it was. So I ended up changing it back to horizontal, and I did, for the next part, change the text to vertical on the water bottle, which you will see in part 2 if you choose to stick ahead. And if not, just know that you can, in fact, rotate the text, but you cannot curve the text. And you can also change the font color. So as you see in this one, I did change the font color to a purple because the purple font matches the image a lot better. And I wanted to have that kind of consistency. Now, if you follow me for the future series of this behind the scenes of Etsy selling, we are going to have a look at the unboxing of the actual product. So if in the unboxing my colors are off or the texts are off or whatever, we're going to see all those flaws when we open up the box in the future videos, okay? But for now, I'm doing my best. We're going to see just how user-friendly this is. And actually, I can say that it is quite user-friendly. I found the ease of using this. I'm not sponsored in any way, by the way, with Printify, with Etsy, none of that sponsorship at all. But I will say that it was pretty easy to manipulate and to use the design features to be able to kind of see how it would look like. And as you see, I'm using the preview feature a lot just to see how it would look like. And as I mentioned before, I didn't really like how it was on a slant, so I did end up going back and just making it straight horizontal. And I'm going to show you finally what that looks like. And another thing to note too, as I'm playing with different names, I wanted to see if the text, if I added more characters, if it continued to stay in the printable area. So when you're doing this, depending on your character limit, you want to make sure that if somebody goes to the maximum number of characters, is it still going to fit in the printable area? So just keep that in mind as you are using your design and you are looking at the green square in this case, that it doesn't fall outside of the printable area space, because if somebody then does go to the maximum character limit, you don't want it to not be printed. Okay, so here is where I just leveled it out and made it horizontal, played with the image a little bit more. I did a few more previews, as you will see coming up, and then I called it a day and started to generate the mock-ups. So here's the previews. You do have the option of putting something on the back, and I always like to put something a little bit on the back because for the price that you're paying for anyway, I feel like the print shop should just make it front and back. Like, it's the same price anyways, so why only have an image on the front? I don't know. Maybe that's just, I kind of grew up in the kind of bargaining. Maybe I'm cheap. I don't know. But I just feel like, yeah, just put an image on the back too. So I ended up putting an image on the back. I experimented with different colors because, yes, you have like all these different color options for t-shirt, but my image is a lot of like green, pink, purple, and is that going to look good on like a green shirt, or is that going to look good on a purple shirt, or is it just going to look really weird? So I went through and I picked colors that would reflect well with the image. So now that I have my image on the front, I have my image on the back. I'm going through and seeing all the color options, which one I'm going to keep, which one I'm not going to keep, because as you see, some of them don't look as good. You can always do the preview option as well. In the Printify editor, beside edit, it says preview, and you can see what that color would look like in a more sort of realistic mock-up way. But I always go through this because, especially if you have black text, you might not want to offer a black shirt or a black hoodie or something black if your text is black, for example. You do have the option to make a different design for each and every color, but I honestly didn't want to do all that. I just wanted to pick colors that I thought would sell, and B would actually make the image look good. The last thing I'm going to do here is to save the product. I'm going to go into the listing editor and put a proper listing together. I'm going to pick some mockups from the mockup library, as well as upload some with a white background so that I could edit further in Canva. So this is just the final kind of steps, and we're going to get into the water bottle personalization now. Similar to the shirt personalization, we're going to go into our catalog and we're going to go into bottles and tumblers. I want to pick a different water bottle because I tried on a small water bottle before and I feel like I wanted something a little bit larger. So I went with this slim water bottle option, and we're going to start to create a design. So we're going to hit start design and we're going to get into our design editor. So I'm going to go in first and upload my image. Now this image, I wanted to really test the dynamic personalizable text feature. So I went into my device here. I'm uploading from my library this water bottle design. And so here on the nurse part, I want to be able to customize it by letting somebody pick their name. So yes, my shop is all Nurse Life Boutique, so everything is sort of nurse related, nurse gifts, nurse appreciation type stuff. And the purpose of having this water bottle, personally, when you bring your water bottles to work, if everybody's water bottle looks the same, you don't want to be drinking somebody else's water. So when you have your own water bottle, especially if it has your name on it, nobody's going to steal it. If it just says nurse, it's probably going to get stolen. I'm not saying all nurses are like this or all nursing stations are like this, but more common than not, things go missing. Anyway, that's not the point. So I added personalization here and put in the text. As usual, you don't want to just have any kind of default text. You want to put a proper name. And I made up this super long name because I wanted to see how it would look like if somebody took up all 18 characters. So if all 18 characters got taken up, would it still fit? Would it still look good? So in the preview, which I go back and forth to preview a lot just to kind of see how it would look like in real time, I see that 18 characters is probably good enough. I don't think I want to go over that character limit. I just go back in and center it a little bit more, and I do a few little tweaks and stuff. My computer's a bit slow. So I'm happy with the way that looks. I'm just probably going to play with the text color and the text font a bit more because it's looking a little plain. And here you can look at all sides of it, but I wish that Printify would let you do like a 360 spin of it. I mean, it's not a big deal, but I would just love to be able to rotate through the image and see seamlessly how it would look like. Maybe in the future they'll have that. I don't know. Anyway, so I look at the mock-ups just to see if I'm happy with the design and whatnot. So I'm not going to leave it as Johnny Bravocado for my listing photo. I'm going to put an actual proper name. I just put that in to test all the character limits. But I'm going to put a proper name, Camilla, sure, and see how that's going to look in the preview. I don't like that text, so I'm going to play around with the text a little bit more and probably make it a different font. Yeah. So here's in the editor. There's different display, handwriting, different text that you can use if you want to play around with that when you're doing your personalization. I would recommend doing that. I think in future, I will have to create designs that the text in mind, but here I am just playing with a design that I already have and trying to add personalization to it. So I go through it and I'm checking and I'm like just trying to figure out which kind of font I like better. And I ended up landing on one that I did like. But I thought that with all the pretty spring floral colors in this water bottle, why do I want to make that's the font color black? Like, it should be bright and colorful, or at least stand out for somebody who's passing by and sees your water bottle. And then they can be like, oh my gosh, where did you get that water bottle from? And then they can be like, oh my gosh, I got it from Nurse Life Boutique on Etsy. And then like they'll just share it, and then everyone will have their own water bottles. Maybe. But anyway, this is the first episode. This is the first product. So we're going to see. I'm definitely ordering this one for myself. So do say subscribe to the journey so that when we get to the unboxing, you can see how it looks like. And even if it doesn't look good, I'm doing this so that I can sample the products myself, sample the journey myself, see how user friendly it is, see what the fees are, see how much you make, all that behind the scenes stuff. I'm doing that so that I could learn, and I'm sharing that with you guys so that you guys could learn. So do stick around for the journey. Like, subscribe, comment. Have you used this Printify personalization feature? How do you guys do it when you did personalization in the past? Let me know all that stuff because I'm a new seller to Etsy. I think that the personalization, the customization just makes it so much more worth it for somebody, because sometimes the fees and all of that I feel like can get to be a bit much. So if it's something that's very personalized, I feel like I'd be willing to pay that extra money for a water bottle that I can take to work that has my name on it, that everybody knows that that's mine. Like, I feel like I would pay for that. So I do appreciate the user friendliness of putting that personalization on the products. And I hope that you guys will appreciate this sort of behind the scenes look in this tutorial. But I'm new, so if you guys have a better idea or a better way, let me know in the comments because I would love to hear about it. So yeah, so here's where I'm just going to play around with the different font colors. The orange kind of looks nice, right? But I just don't know with the light blue kind of background if it stands out enough. I think the green on green is a bit too much. This is a bit too bright, I think. I don't know. What do you guys think? You're gonna see what I ended up landing on. Whoa, not yellow. But let me know what you thought. Like, if you were like, oh, why didn't you go with the orange? That looked so much better or whatever. Let me know. I'm here to learn and grow. So I ended up landing on this blue. So I hit preview just to see what that would look like. And I like it. I think it looks good. So I started, though, not liking the fancy text. And I did end up changing it to not a handwriting text to more of just a written text, and change the name for the listing photo. And so I came up with this one. I'm going to preview it and then I'm going to save it. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with that. The mock-up photos look pretty good. And I'm going to just save it and add that listing to the Etsy shop and call it a day. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being a part of the journey. I'm new to selling on Etsy. If you want, I'll drop a link to my shop, or it'll be on my channel information in the links so you can see my shop and follow along. I'll actually put it in the description box below as well so you can see in real life what it is that we just created together. So thank you so much for joining. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment, tell me, like, are you on Etsy too? And actually, I have a code, like, so if you're new to Etsy and you're like, hey, that seems reasonable, I'll give you the code. It'll help you open your store, get you 40 free listings, and feel free to use that code, open your Etsy shop, get your 40 free listings, and then you can drop your referral code in the comments so anyone else who's thinking about opening an Etsy store can use your referral code and open up their store, because 40 free listings for them and 40 free listings for you as well. So it is a win-win, and it's not sponsored in any way, but it is a win-win for everybody. So you get 40 free listings, they get 40 free listings, and then it's a good and easy way to start your Etsy store. So I'll link that for you below. Please feel free to share yours as well, and let's grow together. Thanks for watching. Bye.